your champagne wishes and caviar dreams. Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that?
Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer, man. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me, as always, coming to you from ESPN 975, 925, as well as podcasting. We're doing it, man. We're doing it like it's supposed to be done. How you feel, man?
I'm feeling good, Book. I'm feeling good. You know what I mean? I do like this time of the year and then don't like it at the same time. I like it because things slow down, but it also seems like things get more hectic. Like in my family and now extended family, there's a lot of December birthdays. Like my brother-in-law's the 1st, my nephew the 5th, my sister-in-law the 9th, my father-in-law the 13th. I'm the 14th. And then you got Christmas. Man,
my sister's birthday this month as well. So I know she's gonna be calling what I'm getting for my birthday and Christmas.
So I mean, it's hectic, but I do enjoy it because things kind of wrap up, and I get excited at night. I don't know about you when I think about, man, going into next year, 24, like where reality wrestling is right now, where the Hall of Fame podcast is, where the YouTube channel is, where we are with ESPN 975 and our TV affiliate for reality wrestling, CW39. And I'm really excited about what's around the corner, you know, because really good conversations are happening right now.
Yeah, man. Really good conversations are happening. I can't, disclose too much or anything right now, but I tell you guys, when we hear about it, you'll hear about it. But we definitely moving in the right direction as far as reality of wrestling goes. They always say overnight success is about 20 years. And we're close to that 20-year mark. We kicked off reality wrestling back in the wrestling school back in 2005. It was, Booker T's Pro Wrestling Academy. This evolved into what it is now, which is reality of wrestling. And I tell you, man, we're so close. We're so close to bringing that dream to fruition and being able to make reality of wrestling the best thing going on the Gulf Coast as far as the AAA of professional wrestling, giving young men and young women the opportunity at living that dream that I had a chance to live, which was great, man. Which brings me, of course, we got Deadline going on this weekend, emanating from the Total Mortgage Arena in Bridgeport, Connecticut.
CT.
But it's something I wanted to talk about. I was listening to Vince Russo, and he was talking about how he would not recommend. I'm sorry. What? No. I just happened to see a quote. I wasn't listening. I actually saw a quote, and he was saying that he would not recommend anyone to join, to be a part of the wrestling business, to get into the wrestling business. I go, wow, man, that's like as bitter as you could actually possibly be about a business that you haven't been in how long?
Since his last run in TNA, whenever that was, mid-2000s,
over 10 years.
Yeah, I would say so, at least.
And to discourage a young person not to get in the business where they can make a huge difference in their life, because I know it made a huge difference in my life. Whether I would have made it to the big time or not, the memories, the journey, the camaraderies would have been pretty awesome. You know what I mean? But to discourage a young person to not want to be a part of the wrestling business because of your bitterness. And that right there, Vince Russo, actually, he proved my point. He proved the point for me as far as that's the reason why I don't have any old wrestlers a part of reality of wrestling, because all they have is old stories, and one apple can spoil the whole
thing.
You know what I mean? So I just wanted to put that out there for any young people out there that's thinking about getting into this business. This business is great. This business changed my life. It really did in so many different ways. I always talk about just going to Japan, my first trip, and getting a chance to see how the Japanese people live opposed to the way we live. No, seriously, I was like, wow, I was amazed. I was like, wow, this is the way life could really, really be. I always tell the story about when I left my 35mm camera on a table downstairs for like 3 hours, and I came back, and my 35mm camera was in the same exact spot. And I say, no way that would have happened in America. No way that would happen in America. You know what I mean? So just the experiences that I've gotten traveling around the world and seeing that part of it. The money is, is great. Making money is great. But one thing about this business, there is no pensions. There is no 401ks and that kind of, stuff like that, which, I get that. But this business does pay you a boatload of money, enough to hopefully structure to where you can parlay this into whatever you want to do next. You know what I
Well,
mean? You could go to college and your life can still turn out to be crap. You know what I mean? So
sure.
someone not to, be a part of the wrestling business is beyond me. Just coach, like I say, it proved my point.
With Vince Russo, I didn't hear the comments or read them, but just going off of what you said, what a ridiculous thing to say. And because from no other reason, not your personal experience, Booker, or my personal experience, but look what it's given Vince Russo. I mean, we wouldn't even know his name if not for the wrestling business. And I'm not saying that Vince Russo, because a lot of people want to paint over what his contributions are. He definitely had major contributions in the wrestling business and was a creative force in WWE and had some good stuff that he did in WCW. TNA, I'm not sure what he lent his name to, but perhaps it was good. But for me, for a guy like that, who was given so much from the business, to even make the assertion to say that somebody who loves the business shouldn't even try to go and join it, is a ridiculous statement for me. Because even for me, I can tell you from reality wrestling standpoint what wrestling has given for me, and even from just learning about yourself and about what you're good at, what you're not good at. Pro wrestling too. If you have any dreams or aspirations of being an actor, a performer, an acrobat, a broadcaster, a television personality, a host, a writer, guess what? I've always looked at pro wrestling as the ultimate entertainment boot camp. Because there's so many facets of it that aren't available in any other form. So you can go to wrestling just to get better in your own craft. You can be a part of a wrestling show just to be a better host, or even be a better father, or be a better whatever the case might be. So I do find that to be ridiculous, and shame on him if that's his sentiment. Shame on him. I mean, because again, he wouldn't have a show.
He wouldn't even have a show. I mean, the wrestling business has given him a way to make a living, where he talks about it on a daily basis on several different platforms.
Bro, let me say this, bro. If you are a young person, bro, don't join the wrestling business, bro. It's not for you, bro. You don't want to do it, bro.
Sounds just like
bro, let me tell you this. When I was in WCW, bro, I made Booker T the champion, bro. It was my idea. You ever heard of Stone Cold, bro? I did that, bro.
The thing is, I give Vince Russo a lot of credit for, making me on that night, because I always say, it took someone like Vince Russo outside the box to have the kahunas to, say, we're going to pull the trigger on this guy, man. This is the guy. Yeah. All the consensus is going towards saying this should be the guy. We're going to lean that way. I give him a whole lot of credit for that. But when I hear someone like him, like you say, who has the business that's given so much, and for him to make a statement about young people not getting into this business, not pursuing professional wrestling because of, I don't know, like I say, the bitterness, the way he's been treated, the way he exited the business. Man, I beat that as a man. I don't know what it is, but like you said, shame on him for saying something like that.
And I will say this in his defense in this, I do think that his contributions to the wrestling business are a lot of time maligned and thrown away and cast aside, like, oh, he never really did anything. He was just a guy who had a bunch of bad ideas in WCW, which I don't tend to be the case. I mean, you talk to people who were actually there at the time in WWF. He did have a lot of creative ideas. He did have a lot of good stuff that made it to TV. So I don't want to malign his career and say he didn't make any contributions.
I'm not falling under that banner right there. I mean, I was there. I worked with Vince Russo, and I got
in WCW.
Yeah, in WCW. Right. And I don't know what he did in the WWF, but I do know when he came to WCW, he did something that's he broke the cardinal rule, and that is came in as a writer, and then next thing you know, he put himself on the show, as a talent, not just put himself on the show as a talent, but he wins the World Heavyweight Champion. And he actually goes on the show, and the way he opens the show is former World Heavyweight Champion, Vince Russo. So Everything that Vince Russo talks about, it's kind of hypocritical. It's kind of hypocritical because, like you say, he's gotten so much from the business as far as him still being able to make money off of it. And then when he was in it, he implemented himself right into the main stories of the business. So I just don't get someone like that. But like I say, it proves everything that I always talk about, and the reason why I started reality wrestling from the bottom up, with no talent that had been a part of WCW, WWE, TNA, ECW, none of that. We created our own stars because I did not want my young kids hearing a lot of bad stories from a lot of these old bitter wrestlers. And I think I did a hell of a job. Reality wrestling. Make sure you guys come check us out. We got a show coming up January 13th. Don't miss out. Don't get shut out. It's gonna be good, guys. But stick around. We'll be back. You're in the Hall of Fame.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled program for an important public service announcement.
This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. Is it something more essential? A revolutionary ball trimmer that has landed right here from the future.
That's right. Manscaped has been working overtime to upgrade your below-the-waist grooming experience with their cutting-edge Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra.
Let's cut to the chase. Every man out there knows the fear of going in for a close shave in those most sensitive areas.
Yeah, we've been there, Book, but fear no more. The Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is the hero that you deserve, featuring not one, but two interchangeable next-gen skin-safe blade heads.
This isn't just your standard grooming. It gives that super smooth finish with a new foil blade your heart desires, and Manscaped delivers.
And it does not stop there. With dual LED spotlights, you can navigate the darkest of regions with precision regardless of your skin tone.
And they thought of everything, man. 3-length setting comb, and guess what, my man? This bad boy is waterproof.
That's right, Booker. Trim with confidence in or out of the shower. The Lawnmower 5.0 trimmer helps reduce nicks, the risk of ingrown hairs, and those dreaded grooming accidents.
And because we've got your back, man, get 20% off free shipping with the code, Booker T at manscaped.com.
Just think about it. 20% off, free shipping at manscaped.com with the code Booker T. High-tech grooming for your low places.
Look, man, from a personal experience, this isn't just a ball trimmer. It's like a spaceship for your man parts. Smooth, efficient, and it takes care of business, dog.
Remember, we're keeping it real with you all. We partnered up with Manscaped because we believe in the product. They hooked us up and we're passing that on to you.
So, gentlemen, upgrade your grooming game, man, and visit manscaped.com. And don't forget to use the promo code Booker T for your exclusive deal. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Just talking a little something. Just chopping it up about a little something I heard earlier this week as Vince Russo goes. But we move on. It's here nor there. But like
look, it's neither here nor there, right? Yeah,
it's here nor there.
It's all right. Now here's something I wanted to talk about. So, NXT Deadline is coming up, and by the way, shout out to the chat who's there right now. Shout out to all the chat. Make sure if you have a question you want to ask BT or myself or to both of us, make sure you drop it in the super chats, and we will make sure that we answer it today on the show. It's all about the people. BT, but
it's hot.
But I did want to talk about one thing. Is NXT Deadline's coming up. The Hall of Fame is over. People love the Hall of Fame, and not only do you sit ringside for NXT shows and all of that, but they even looked out for your boy today, and NXT invited me to be a part of their media call, right? And with Shawn Michaels, and There's dozens and dozens of media outlets on there, but I was able to ask Shawn a question, not so much about NXT Deadline, but about some perhaps broadcasters on NXT and maybe his thought about them. So I want to play the clip for you and have you react. Is that okay?
Yeah, man.
All right, here we go.
Sean, pleasure to speak to you. My question is regarding the NXT announced team. Vic Joseph and Booker T, I think, have been a incredible duo for you all, and I think that they have enhanced the broadcast from my perspective. How do you feel that their chemistry has been, and in your estimation, how do you feel that they have added to the broadcast?
I love them both. First of all, so yeah, I'm a huge fan of Vic Joseph. I again, take Vic aside, I think he is absolutely one of the best play-by-plays guys in this business, and I mean that again. Vic is absolutely fantastic at his job, and I don't know a young man that works harder at that job than Vic does. Book again, we are on a regular basis in the back. Again, laughing out loud with their chemistry every Tuesday night. Again, it's I still watch as a fan as we're back there doing this, and the fact that again, it may not always be the right thing, but if I enjoy it and it's making me laugh, I always feel like we're going to keep going with it. So I love their chemistry. I love what it is they put together. I think there's a good yin and yang that goes on there. Because Book can be so far out to lunch sometimes, and watching and listening to Vic having to reel him back in is some of my most enjoyable times during the week. So I can't speak more highly of our announced team. But I get, if I could say, like, on a serious note, hey, I don't ever want to lose Vic, but he is absolutely the best. He's a dude that is incredibly gifted and really good at his job.
So that was Shawn Michaels from the NXT Deadline media call that I got to participate in earlier today. Talking about you and Vic. What's your reactions to Shawn's comments?
Hey, man, I agree with him 100% as far as Vic goes. He's very talented dude. He controls that show like none other, man. I mean, he is so calm, cool, collected at doing that job, and like Shawn said, he's definitely like a conductor out there, reeling me in and, holding me up, and then he let me go. It's kind of crazy, but I say it all the time. I couldn't do the job without Vic. It really would be hard, difficult for me without Vic. And I appreciate that what Shawn said. He's right, man. It is like a yin and a yang because Vic is so straight. Vic is so, that guy to play that role, and then you throw me in the mix, it is totally something. It just can go off the rails in a heartbeat. Because I said some stuff out there to where Vic just have to look at me and don't say nothing. Because he might get in trouble. But no, it's refreshing for me being at the table working with Vic. Refreshing for me working in NXT, being a part of that brand. Watching those young guys develop right before my very eyes, watching Roxanne Perez become a woman literally right before my very eyes, and I'm like, man, it's amazing how time flies. But I must say, I'm living my best life. I'm living my best life being a part of NXT right now.
Yeah. No, I think that what you and Vic have done has been real fun. Obviously, and like Shawn said, I texted you before, even called you after y'all get off the air, and just been like, man, when you said this, I about lost it, and there's the term, and I guess this is a good question for you, because there's a term like in the business, like, oh, I popped the boys with that one, right? Meaning like the people behind the camera, maybe the people in the truck, they all got a big kick out of that. Like, I know this is going to pop them. Like, I've even done that on commentary. Like, I know this is going to pop Kevin if I say this.
Yeah.
Is that something that you ever think about, or you just think about, I don't know, like, what's your approach there?
No, I know when I pop them because I can hear them in the headset. They actually start laughing in the headset, which is, for me, it's not something I'm consciously thinking about. It's not something I'm consciously thinking about. As far as I got to get this one liner in, I got to get this one. I just don't think like that. I think like a match, when you're thinking about getting stuff in, it's not going to really flow properly. You're just thinking about getting that spot in. But when it happens, it happens. It's just like Hottie Biscotti. I I was listening to one of the shows, Pat McAfee show, I think it was, and somebody said Hottie Biscotti. And I'm like, okay, what they find that at? So for me, it's awesome. It's so awesome. I was listening to, actually, I was reading an interview that Trick Williams had gave, and he was talking about my ad libs, and he was saying, man, I love Booker's ad libs. I wish they could just put it in the song, you know what I mean? So the fans could sing along with it every week, you know? So for me, I swear, man, I'm really living my best life, having the ability to be able to work with these young guys. It's really, really awesome.
Yeah. And again, like you and I've talked about it before, but I feel like this is the most comfortable you've been on the on the table. Like, cause you've had several iterations. I think you've actually had your broadcasting career in WWE for about 11 years.
Wow. Yeah.
When you think about it, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. And I've evolved. I've tried to get better. That's the thing. You know, if you're not trying to get better, you're not gonna stick around very long. Because me as a coach, I can see when someone's getting better. I can see when someone's trying. You know, so for me, it's refreshing, you know, to get a text message from, you know, Michael Cole saying, man, you guys killed it last night. And you're like, yeah, be laughing all night. You know, that kind of stuff gives me a little bit more motivation to pull the remarkable out and start writing even more, you know, just to make sure I'm on point, because preparation is truly the only luck you're ever going to have in life. It really is. And for me to be able to, you know, just still stay relevant, you know, in 2023, man, it's pretty freaking cool, man. Everywhere I go, you know, people go, man, it's Booker T, man, you're awesome, man. Man, I grew up watching you. You know, can I get a photo? You know, can you sign this for me? And all that does, man, is just let me know I've done my job over my years. That's all. I mean, there's nothing, no more than that. It just lets me know that I've done my job, and people still appreciate me for putting the hard hat on, putting the boots on, coming to work, and still doing my job today in 2023. It's freaking awesome, man.
And one of the things that I actually learned from you from a broadcasting thing is now when I watch movies or TV shows, or even if I listen to somebody giving an interview or anything like that, if they say something that's great or something that pops me, as we're talking about, or a good line, I'm like, ooh, where's my remarkable? Let me write that down. That's some good stuff right there. That's good. That's good.
Credulity. I heard.
Credulity.
I got that from Johnny Cochran. I say, man, that's a good. Let me go look this up and see what this means. You know what I mean? So like stuff like that, it challenges me. You know, it challenges me to, you know, still test myself. And, you know, because if you're not testing yourself, man, you can find yourself really, really in a bad position if you're not pushing yourself and testing yourself all the time. When you find yourself, when you feel like you're slipping a little bit, you know, that's when you really want to push yourself even harder, when you feel yourself slipping just a little bit. Because this life thing, man, it's real, dog. It's real. It's real as it can possibly be. So, you know, I'm loving life right now. Seriously.
As you should. And NXT Deadline's around the corner. There's on Saturday, there's a couple things I did want to talk to you about from the show, but I know that we're coming up on a break. But, you know, you can watch Booker, sit there with Vic Joseph, Pop and Shawn Michaels, and the rest of the NXT crew on Saturday on Peacock is where you can find the show. And big shout out to NXT always.
Yeah, another premium live event. I started saying PLE last week, and I go P, and Vic goes LE. Yes. I'm like, man, letters, all these letters and whatnot. Shit. Hey, man, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Can you dig it, sucker? And this episode is sponsored by BlueChew. Guys, let's talk about it. Let's talk about sex. Hey, you remember when you was always ready to go? I'm talking about strapping the rocket on it, man. Going straight to the moon. I'm talking about getting it done. If you want that extra confidence, I got something for you. Listen up. BlueChew.com. BlueChew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, Levitra, but in a chewable tablet at the fraction of the cost.
But the great thing, Book, is you can take it any time, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The process is simple. You sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days.
The best part, guys, it's all done online on the internet. So there's no doctor's visit, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at a pharmacy or any of that.
And the thing is, Book, Blue Chew's tablets, they're made right here in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package, so no one is the wiser.
You know, let's just get it out there, guys. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. It's like this. Chew it and do it. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew absolutely free when you use promo code Booker at your checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping, man. That's BlueChew.com. Use promo code Booker to receive your first month absolutely free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And, you know, we want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the Hall of Fame podcast. Chew it and do it. Shoop. What's going on, guys? Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. Talking Deadline going down Saturday night. I'll be there. I can't wait. It's going to be some awesome action going on. A lot of matches been added to the card as well. Unexpected matches added to the card. So I'm definitely looking forward to any matches in particular.
Well, before we get to the matches, I wanted to ask you about Wesley. Wesley went down with the injury.
Yeah.
It sounded like something that may have been nagging him for a while, and was able to. He finally, got too much for him. What did you think about that when you heard not only that he was not going to be on the show, but I mean that was a tough announcement to even watch.
Hey, bro, he definitely got his acting skills down because that really wasn't an act. You could feel his pain.
Yeah,
actually, you could tell he loves this, man, and to be away from that ring is something that's going to hurt him really, really bad, and look like he's going to be away from it for about 8 to 12 months. They were talking about he's going to have back surgery. One thing about that back surgery thing is it's one of those touch and go situations, so I hope and pray for Wesley to come back fully 100% because he is an amazing talent, one of the best that I've seen in NXT, not just NXT, but this business in general. I said when I first got to NXT, I was definitely not a huge fan of Wesley or anything like that. I wasn't a believer. I just thought he was one of these flippy guys. And then he showed me he wasn't just a flippy guy, man. He could fight. He was a warrior. He was somebody that was going to go in there and make you feel something. That's what I always talk about this business. If you can make me feel something, man, I'm buying in. And that kid, week in and week out, no matter who he was working against, no matter how big or how small the guy was, it was an incredible match. So I do just want to say, man, hopefully Wesley get back 100%. I'm praying for you, but definitely he's going to be missed for these next 8 to 12.
It's always a tough time, especially though when because Wesley, I guess on NXT TV has been a prominent fixture over the last several months. When he had the NXT North American title run, going into the feud that he had with Dominic Mysterio, it looked like it was going to come to a head at Deadline and be a real breakout, quite literal moment, perhaps for him to even make it up to the next rung as far as the fandom goes surrounding Wesley, and to be have that happen at such an inopportune time, and then it not be something like, hey, Book, you're going to be down with this injury for about 6 weeks, and then we'll get you back on TV. It's 8 to 12 months. That's a lot. I mean, I even heard Randy Orton talking about being down for 18 months and all the stuff that he went through, thinking, man, I don't even know if I'm ever going to be able to do this again. And most of the time thinking he was done in the ring, not sure. And I think the fear of the unknown, Booker, is probably the worst thing, not only for any of us, but especially a performer whose livelihood is dependent upon their physicality.
Yeah, definitely. When I was listening to Wesley talk about the pain in his right leg, shooting down, I remember that exact same pain, shooting down my right leg into my toes. Um, I couldn't walk. I lie in the bed for 3 months straight. 2 epidurals. I thought my career was over. I literally couldn't walk from my bedroom to the kitchen without holding on to the wall in a chair to get to the wall, to get to the ottoman, whatever. It was just, I mean, I couldn't hold myself up, and I felt helpless. And the thing is, when you're going through something like that, you don't see a light at the end of the tunnel. You really don't. You're fighting for it, but you're just wondering the whole time, man, am I going to get back? Am I going to, and when I do get back, am I going to be 100%? Am I going to be able to go out there and do it like I did it before? All of that kind of stuff creeps in your head. So, like I say, man, it's definitely a hard one, man, a hard pill to swallow. Wesley, I just hope he get back. I'm praying for that kid, man, because like I say, he is truly an amazing talent.
Yeah, we definitely wish for him to go ahead and come back as fast as you can, but as slow as you must. Now, here's my other question for you when you talk about NXT Deadline. One of the big things I wanted to ask you when it comes to the matches, Kiana James, Roxanne Perez, steel cage match between these two women. It's really built to this. It feels right. Feels like the stipulation is called for. Have you gotten in the ear of Roxanne Perez? Because you're very particular when it comes to cage matches at Reality of Wrestling. We've had probably 24 during my tenure there, and you're very particular about what you like from a cage match. Have you given anybody some insight? Has anybody come to BT, or are you just going to hang back and see how these two ladies approach this match type?
Of course, I've talked to Roxanne on a weekly. We've actually had a sit down like a week or so ago. But as far as this match goes, I haven't given her any advice other than stuff that we've talked about before. As far as what does it take to make it to that next level, and how much you're going to have to sacrifice, to make it to that next level as well. And sometimes you can't think about anything but stepping on some toes and keeping on walking. That's my advice to Roxanne Perez. But I don't know, man. I don't know if you can see it, but like I say, I've seen a change in Roxanne over the last 6 months. Just the growth of Roxanne Perez. I mean, not just her in-ring skill and in-ring prowess or anything like that, but just her face, her body. She's growing up. You know what I mean? She's becoming a woman. She's understanding what this thing's really all about. And she's in the greatest place she possibly could be right now at 22 years old. At 22 years old, I mean, she's a breakout champion. She's an Iron Survivors champion. She's an NXT Women's champion. She's done just about everything in that company already. So she's in the best place she possibly could be, going into a cage match with Kiana James at Deadline on Saturday night. So I'm gonna just sit back and watch it, and hope she come out on top.
Yeah, same here. I'll be rooting for her. It's always interesting to see, though. NXT, I feel like, at least NXT in the past and now, have always had the premium live events, the takeover specials. It used to be on the WWE Network. They've always had a vibe around them, and I think that fans expect over the top stuff sometimes. And to me, what I can just tell you what I'd like to see from the cage match. I want not over the top stuff or the dive from the top or whatever. I want to see the brutality of the cage match, because I feel like what we saw in War Games from the women and the men, to me, brought me back with that old school feel of what a cage match was, of hey, look, this isn't made to as a prop to jump off of. This is made to be locked in the cage. The brutal, the brutalness, the brutality. That's the word that keeps coming back to me about the cage. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, definitely. I don't remember too many cage matches, but you definitely hit that one on the head right there. Trish Stratus.
Trish and Becky. Oh, of course. Yeah. Trish. You're talking about the one just now. Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, that was one of the best matches I've seen in a long freaking time.
Same. Yeah.
So the bar is set high, for these ladies. But there again, NXT is that breaking ground, that training ground to actually be able to go out there and show the world what you really have to offer before you actually get there. This is the way it used to be, where you see talent out on the scene before they get there, and then when they do get there, you go, man, I couldn't wait till they finally made it to the main roster. So for me, it's so many of them down in NXT that's waiting to get to that next level. But there again, I just want to see them go. What was that statement you said a second ago about Wesley? Come back fast, but as slow as
as fast as he can, but as slow as he must.
Exactly. That's that right there.
Yeah. You liked that, didn't you? You writing that one down in the.
I didn't write it down, but yeah, that's all right.
So you definitely, by the way, I see super chats coming in.
Long.
The road to the throne is long. That's always going to be one of my favorites for people who don't know. Like when we go to the boxing matches in Vegas, they'll have like the info cards there of like, here's all the fighters, here are their stats, here's the story, here's the this. And then the last page is always like phrases you can use, right? And it's always like a bout between two undefeated giants or whatever. And then the last couple of times we've gone, it has this phrase, the road to the throne is long.
I used it about 4 weeks ago in NXT.
I heard you because you text me. You're like, I used it.
Oh man. But no. As far as I know, we got to take a break. Before we get moving forward. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame, man. We'll be back in a minute. Can you dig it, sucker? All right, everyone, it's Booker T and Brad Gilmore here, and we've got something exciting for all you sports, comedy, music, and theater fans out there. We're talking about Gametime, the fastest, easiest way to get your hands on tickets to your favorite events.
That's right, Book. We love all those spontaneous, unforgettable moments, and Gametime is here to make them happen. Whether it's a last-minute decision to see a game or a sudden urge to catch a live show, Gametime has got you covered, giving fans access to tickets even at the last minute in over 60 cities across the United States and Canada.
Hey guys, this ain't about getting in. This is about getting the best seats in the house. With Gametime, you can see images of your seat before you buy it. So no surprises there, guys. You can score tickets swiftly. Skip the line, guys. Just dive straight into the moment.
Absolutely. And listen to this. Gametime guarantees the best prices. Find tickets in the same section in row for less elsewhere. Gametime will give you a credit of 110% of the difference. So there's no reason to wait, bro.
So whether it's the thrill of the game, the laughter of the comedy, the rhythm of the music, or the drama of the theater, guys, don't let the opportunity skip by. Choose Gametime. Grab your tickets and just enjoy the moment.
Live should be spontaneous, Book. So guys, don't miss out. Check out Gametime now on their app or at gametime.co. That's gametime.co.
Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Just download the Gametime app, create an account, and use the code BOOKER for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Lowest price. Guaranteed. Oh, yes. Boom. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. NXT Deadline going down this weekend, Saturday night. I'll be there. Big Joseph will be there. It's going to be a party. And I know it's going to be cold. I better get my big coat out. I got to bring the isotoners out, the Bruno Magli's, and be ready for the moment, just in case something go down,
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. It's gonna be that. Well, hopefully they don't have you broadcasting from outside.
Bro, I don't think I could do that ever again. I'm serious. It's true when they talk about that hawk in Chicago. It was cold out there. They said it was like 30 degrees, but it would be a calmness there for a second, and then that hawk would roll through. And when that hawk rolled through, the temperature seemed like it would drop immediately, like 5 to 10 degrees. And you in mid sentence, bruh, that was the hardest thing I ever had to do. And I told Cole, man, I'm quitting if I have to do that again.
No mas.
Bro,
You Roberto Durandam.
bro.
You said no mas.
I tapped. I was tapping. After about 45 minutes, I felt sorry for Wade Barrett because he had like a light little coat on. I don't know what he was thinking. Maybe he was thinking, well, I can't have a coat on. I can't really look like I'm cold. But bro, his hands were solid white when we got up from that table. And I know he was cold because I had gloves on. I had little heat warmers in the gloves and my hands were still freezing.
Oh,
You notice Peter Rosenberg had his hands in his pockets the whole, he never took them out. He never took his hands out of his pockets the whole time. But I'm serious. But it was a monster out there, bro. And I never, ever wanted to have to do something like that ever again.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you don't. And we'll be able to make sure you stay warm at NXT Deadline. We do have a couple of chats that trickled in here. You want to get to a couple right now before we talk any more Deadline?
Let's get them.
All right, this one comes from let me get my gimmick up here. How dare me not be ready? Here we go. Super chat is
super chat.
Question for Black Snow. Thoughts on Braun Breaker's progress and when will we expect to see him on the main roster? Love from South Africa. That's from Samganda Chonko.
Appreciate it. I was wondering what ZAR was.
I don't know what ZAR is. Yeah.
Some kind of currency, but yeah, we appreciate it. Braun Breaker in his progress. Man, I love the progress of Braun Breaker. And I love Braun Breaker not moving to the main roster too soon. This kid got so much potential, and you don't want to just ruin it by saying, "Oh, he's ready. Let's put him on the main roster, throw him in the deep end, and let's see if he can swim." No, I don't think so. I say you build that kid, you build him, and I just talked about the growth of Roxanne Perez, watching her mature. I've actually watched the maturity of Braun Breaker over this last year, how this kid has grown, and the growth has been exponentially as far as when I see Braun Breaker, when Braun Breaker comes out, it for some reason it has a real feel to it. When he's in the ring bringing the noise now, it feels real. When he delivers, it feels real. So I love the growth of Braun Breaker. As far as him going to the main roster, and when do I perceive him actually making it to the main roster? I think it's going to be within the next year, maybe another. Let's just say this. I would hope we would keep him for at least one more year. Let's just say that. I would hope to keep Braun Breaker in NXT for just one more year.
Well, I think that he's made. When did we first see him? I feel like, was it last year or the year before? I think it was the year before.
Yeah,
21. So I mean, this is right, kind of where he's getting into his sweet spot because he was fresh to the business. You know what I mean? This was not like he was on the Indies for 10 years. He was fresh to the business coming off of football, I believe, straight into wrestling. Now, obviously, he had a leg up given who his family is. He understands it probably at a better level. And he definitely has that feel that you look for when somebody comes out of the of the curtain. And even when he's on the mic, I definitely feel like the ghost of his dad and his uncle are in his voice at times. It's just crazy how hereditary things are. But for him, I think, yeah, you can let him cook for a year. I mean, he's been on Raw a couple times. I know. I think he worked with Ziggler for the title on Raw or something like that last year. But he can cook for a little bit longer. I still don't think we've seen his peak in NXT.
I don't either.
I just feel like we've seen him on NXT for a while, but we haven't seen his peak.
Not at all. And like I say, it's going to be plenty of time for him to go to the main roster. But just to let him grow just a little bit more, prepare just a little bit more for when he does make to the main roster. Do I think he can handle the main roster right now? Yes, I do. I really do. But for me, I would definitely season him just a little bit more.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. Our next super chat here comes from John JLD JID 999 says, how can you get heat like Adrian Street in 2023?
It's very, very easy. It's very, very simple. I talk to guys about, the Adrian Street effect all the time. As far as what Adrian did out of the ring was totally different than what he did inside the ring. When Adrian Street got in the ring, you believed it. You believed that this guy was one of the baddest SOBs you ever saw inside of the squared circle. Then you see him outside of the ring, he's like acting like a fairy and, he's, whatnot. But I'm going to tell you, that dude, young people, if they really want to understand what this business is really, truly all about, you go and pull up some Adrian Street, you watch him, and he definitely will show you what being a heel is really all about, along with Miss Linda.
Well, I think that it could be also simple, as the Mary J and Method Man song once said. I just feel that it depends on how you condition the audience, right? And to me, there are still ways to get the heat. Like for a minute, MJF was getting. I mean, MJF had some legit heat for a moment.
Yeah.
It's now kind of turned into babyface. Like people want to go to see him do that. And a lot of the times, any great heel, sometimes you get to that point to where you're so good at being a heel, the fans start to appreciate you for it more. But there are ways, I think, still you can use social media to your advantage. It does not have to be a disadvantage to your character, right? You can use it to your advantage. You can set up stuff. There are just new ways to work. I'll put it that way. There are new ways to work. But what do they say? A leopard doesn't change his spots, and that's our cheetah doesn't change his spots, whatever it is.
Yeah.
The business has changed, but it's still what it's always been. Do you know what I mean by that? And there's still ways that you can make it feel just like it always needed to be. It depends on how you condition the audience as your character or your personality.
I mean, it's definitely true. I mean, I always talk about it. You got to make the fans feel a certain way in order for them to want to cheer for you, in order for them to want to come back and see you. And for me, that's always been very, very simple. Go out and poetically beat someone up. That's all you got to do, just poetically beat someone up. Make it feel good to the fans when they're watching it. Make it look good when you're doing it. The cool effect is definitely something that is very, very, something that you need to get over. You just can't go out and get beat up and not look cool getting beat up. It's so much goes into being a really, really good professional wrestler. And a lot of times these days, a lot of those elements are just overlooked. A lot of those elements are just disregarded. And I talk about taking that engine apart and putting it back together. You got to take it apart and put it back together the exact same way. You can't be no parts laying over here on the side. And I think a lot of these wrestlers these days, they don't care if it's parts left on the side. They just do it anyway. And that's what, kills me. That's why I try to teach my wrestlers that reality of wrestling, the proper way to go out and perform. That's why they get, get a lashing when they come out and they don't go out and perform at that level that I'm looking for at the same time. This business is not something that you just know. You're taught this business just like I was. I was taught this business, and I had some great mentors, some great coaches, great advisors that brought me all the way, to this point. 2-time Hall of Famer, 6-time world champ, 15-time tag team champion, 6-time television champion, U.S. champ, hardcore champ, intercontinental champ, everything, man.
Yeah, we got to take a break.
Oh, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Hey, what's up? This Booker T, and winter is here, and you know what that means? Trying to stay comfortable while you sleep. Well, I've got something exciting for you.
That's right, Book. We've recently discovered a game changer for a good night's sleep. It's called Miracle Made, and it has its new product, the silver-infused bed sheets inspired by NASA.
Yeah, these sheets are no ordinary sheets, guys. They've got self-cooling properties that keep you at the perfect temperature all night long, thanks to NASA-inspired technology.
And here's the kicker. They're self-cleaning too. Infused with silver, these sheets prevent up to 99.7% of bacterial growth, leaving them fresh and clean 3 times longer than regular sheets. So that means no more gross odors. Plus, they're all about comfort and quality. Miracle sheets are luxuriously comfortable without the crazy price tag of other luxury brands. Trust me, Book, they feel as nice, if not nicer, than the sheets used by some 5-star hotel.
And just in time for the holidays, guys, these miracle sheets make perfect gift for your loved one. And who doesn't want better sleep and luxurious bed sheets? And guess what, guys? You get 3 free towels with your purchase. But wait, there's more. These sheets are designed with your skin in mind. No more sleeping on bacteria that can clog your pores. You don't want that. Sleep clean with Miracle.
Yeah, so here's the deal, listeners. Go to trymiracle.com/Booker to try it today or gift it to someone special this holiday season. And guess what? You will save over 40%.
Do it! And don't forget, guys, if you use the promo code at your checkout, you'll get 3 free towels and an extra 20% off.
And if that wasn't great, here's the best part. Miracle stands behind their product with a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not 100% satisfied, you will get a full refund from Miracle Made.
Hey guys, upgrade with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/Booker and use the promo code Booker and claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40%. Trymiracle.com/Booker. Treat yourself or a loved one this holiday season to a gift of better sleep. Don't wait. Try Miracle Made today. Shop. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. I'm gonna wear my ship shirt next time we do the show.
You got to, man.
Need to start representing the ship. Yeah, but
It's only proper.
yeah,
It's only proper.
got any more super chats?
We do. But just because you brought up the ship shirt, I did have a question. Whether that be WWE, WCW, TNA, wherever you've been, Global for that matter. I don't think Global had a lot of merchandising, but they could have. I'm not sure. When it comes to like merchandise and like what your likeness is attributed to, when we think about video games or posters or trading cards or whatever it is, like how much of a say do you have in that, or do you have any say in it, or do they just say, or are you just like, hey, when the residual check rolls in, like, hey baby, I was on a board game, like sweet, we're making some money.
Yeah, that's always been tricky, man. To answer your question, you don't have no say over it. I've been places, like signings, like overseas, especially like overseas, and you'll see stuff that you have never seen before. I'm serious. They come up and they have an action figure, like you say, a board game or a cup, something that you have no idea about. And I'm like, man, I wonder if I'm getting paid for this. You wonder, because I've seen so much stuff out there with my likeness on it. I don't too much think about it these days. I just hope that it's part of the residual check every quarter.
Yeah, I remember. I think I was at a Target, and I don't know if I texted you or I texted Sharmell, one of them, but I saw like a board game that you were on the front cover of, and I was like, "What? What is this? How come I don't know about this?"
Oh man, it's crazy. Yeah.
It's just curious. Like, do you ever like when it came to like T-shirts and stuff like that? Is that something too that does the office come to you about that, or do you go to them, or?
A lot of guys go to the company about that kind of stuff. I've never gone to the company about T-shirt. Only our first Harlem Heat T-shirt that we got in WCW, and we had a lot to do with the artwork, and I remember it clearly because I had a lot to do with the design of it. And we were, my brother and I, we were on the corner of 110th Street. And you can see the buildings behind us. And you can only see like one side of our faces. The other side was like blacked out by the shade. And it was actually pretty cool. And that was the only time I really had any input on a t-shirt in professional wrestling.
Wow. So all the other ones were just like, hey, here's the design. And you're like, okay, cool.
Well, they'll show it to me. They'll bring it to me and show it to me and ask me if I like it or something like that. You know, and most of the times it was a cool shirt. You know, most of the time it was me doing a 5 or something. But no, it's crazy. I remember one time I came in and they go, hey, Book, come take a photo for us real quick. And I had on some white sweatpants with a black stripe going down the side. My dreads was short, you know, really, really short. I had a gold necklace on with a cross on it. And they took that photo and produced it, and that was one of my promo pics. And I was like, are you kidding? Actually, and they made an action figure out of it as well. I'm like, are you kidding me? I just thought I was taking a photo that day. Yeah.
Oh, Lord have mercy. I love to see. Because I heard I think Austin, and I always love hearing Austin tell the story about when he came up with the Stone Cold character, and the names they came back with were Fang McFrost and Ice Dagger and Otto Von Ruthless. And then he came up with the Stone Cold Steve Austin idea, and then he came up with the shirt. Now it's not like the shirt took and no offense to Steve, it's not like it took a genius to come up with like Austin in white letters and 316 in the front of it. It was just white letters on a black t-shirt, but that's still the highest selling t-shirt in history. And I just wonder if it was like lightning in the moment.
Skull's on there, right?
Skull's on the back.
Yeah.
Skull's on the back. Yeah, you were all right about that. The skull's on the back. It says Stone Cold. It's like his logo. But like the front is so simple, but it was an iconic.
You know what that was, man? That was Stone Cold Steve Austin taking a shot. It was Stone Cold Steve Austin banking on himself. It was Stone Cold Steve Austin saying, hey, if this don't work, just fire me. Because I know all that other stuff's not going to work. I know I know I'm going to get fired doing that. No, I'm serious. I'm dead serious. That's one of the first conversations I had with Vince McMahon when I first started the company. I had, I remember it vividly. I was like, man, I went out to the ring and I had this agent telling me this, and I had this agent telling me this. I had this agent telling me not to do this, and this agent over here, he was just like, just do whatever. And I went back to Vince and I said, Vince, can I have a meeting with you? Can I talk to you? And he was like, yeah. And I said, Vince, I got this guy telling me to do this. I got this agent telling me to do this. I got this agent telling me not to do this. I say, look, I know I'm going to get fired doing it their way. Is it okay if I go out and do it my way? And if I don't get over it, just fire me. That was my pitch. So I could see Stone Cold Steve Austin saying, none of this other stuff, I know I'm not going to get over doing that. So let me shoot my shot. If it doesn't work out, get rid of me.
And look at what it is. Look at what it did. One of the biggest stars in the history of the business. But it's funny you say that because The Undertaker just came out with his own, I guess not just, it's been a few weeks, but it's like behind a paywall, but it's his own podcast.
Yeah.
Called 6 Feet Under with Mark Calloway. And Taker, I listened to the first episode, and Taker was talking about meeting Vince for the first time. And that he and the night before, there was a couple interesting things. He had sat down with what was the guy in WCW, Jim Herd? Does that sound right to you?
Yeah.
He said he had sat down, I think, with Jim Herd and maybe Ole Anderson or something. So one of the two of those guys. I'm not sure. Whoever was in charge of the contracts at the time. And in WCW.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you're talking WCW, right?
WCW. Yeah.
Jim Herd was WCW, yeah.
And it was one of them he was talking about, and he said that he sat down to renew his contract, and he asked for a little bit more money, and whoever it was told him, no one's ever going to pay money to see you wrestle. Right. So just take the contract at the same rate we're giving it now. At least you got food on your table. And Taker turns it down. Anyway, puts in a word to Pritchard, or Paul Heyman puts in a word to Pritchard, and he ends up in a meeting at Vince's house. And Vince was like, well, tell me about yourself. And then Undertaker's like, oh, well, I like to do this. I like to do this. I like to sing in the shower. And then Taker goes, as soon as I said I like to sing in the shower, I go, oh my God. My gimmick's going to be the guy who sings in the shower, and I'm going to walk out with a shower curtain on and be soaping up and sing because that was a time where they had
Oh, give me.
Goon and
Yeah.
the Gobbledygooker and all these guys. And then Taker said I hung up the phone. I mean, not I hung up the phone. I finished the meeting. They're like, well, we don't have anything for you right now, but we'll think if we think of anything, we'll give you a call. And he said a few months later, his phone rings and it's Vince on the other line because he recognizes his voice and he goes, yes, hello, is this the Undertaker? And then Taker's like, I guess that's not the singing in the shower guy. And I go, it sure is the Undertaker. And that's how he got it. But it's just funny to think, like, what if Taker was the singing in the shower character? Because Kane was Isaac Yankem.
Bro, I mean, Kane had to go through a couple of different
and fake Diesel.
Yeah, to find, Kane, to find that perfect gimmick, So yeah, but Kane was always a good worker. He was always a team player. He was always willing to, try to go that extra mile. He was somebody you knew you could always use on the show. And then when they found the Kane thing, it just happened to be perfect.
Kane's one of the perfect characters.
Yeah,
we talk about a character for the story,
just
the moment.
To be perfect. You know what I mean? It was totally the counter opposite of the Undertaker, and it worked perfectly.
God, man. And I actually just watched they did a documentary about Paul Bearer. And they kind of went through his career as Percy Pringle, and then when he went to WWF, it was kind of the same thing Taker was saying. Is Vince set him down like, "Oh, tell me about yourself," and Paul was like, "Well, I used to do this. I used to be a mortician." Used to be a mortician. Well, goddamn, you're Paul Bearer. It's pretty much one of those things, which also speaks to the genius of Vince.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's said all the time, but just for him to be like, "Oh, you're a mortician. Boom, we're gonna make you Paul Bearer. We'll put you with the Undertaker."
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah.
Just those small things, man. But again, I don't know. Like, I wonder if you had gone to Vince before your run on top in WCW, and you were just kind of mid-card Booker T.
I wouldn't be Booker T.
Yeah, you wouldn't be.
That's a fact. I would not have been Booker T. I can only imagine.
I have a vision for you. You're gonna be T Daddy.
No, the snowman.
You're gonna come out. It's gonna be snowing.
I don't know why I'm thinking about the snowman, but that just sounds like I would have been the snowman. I'm so damn glad I was over.
but it's like also, and I know we got to take a break, but it's one last story. It was like when Mick Foley's coming in and he's been Cactus Jack, and Vince is just disgusted by Mick in general, and JR wants to sign him, and then Vince finally tells JR, "Okay, you can sign him, but he's got to wear a mask."
Don't even want to be seen on TV.
I don't even want to see his face.
We got to take a break. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. Be back in a minute.
Can you dig it, sucker?
Hey, Book, our next sponsor of the Hall of Fame podcast is AG1, the daily foundational nutritional supplement that supports whole body health. I drink it literally every day, and I know you're drinking it too.
Yeah, man. I received a box in the mail, and I said, "What is this?" And it said AG1. And let me give you a little testimony. I'm a coffee drinker. I've been a coffee drinker every morning for about 25 years. And I drink a big cup of coffee on the way to the airport, and I get on my flight and I still go to sleep. So I realized coffee is not helping me at all. So I say, let me try the AG1. I stopped drinking coffee literally 2 weeks ago. And I drink the AG1 in the morning, first thing. And the first thing I want to do is get in the gym and train. The body transformation has been unbelievable. The energy I have going into my daily routine has been off the chain. So I'm a believer. I'm a believer in AG1.
And Book, for me, I was sick of taking multivitamins every day, and I wanted something that was an all-in-one. And with AG1, it's just a scoop in my water every morning. I mix it up, and it's a foundational nutritional supplement that delivers comprehensive nutrients to the whole body. And for me, the benefits of AG1, I can tell you I have more energy, I have better digestion, better gut health, I have more support for mental clarity and focus. I'm locked in for the whole day since I've been drinking AG1.
And they say LeBron James spent $1.5 million a year on his body. You don't have to do that, guys. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Guys, go to drinkag1.com/Booker. That's drinkag1.com/Booker. Check it out. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. Super chats.
Super chats. We're going to be wrapping the show up right now. Getting out here a little bit early. I don't know. Maybe the show just flew by. It just flies by.
Big time today.
Marcus Craig says, "I'm so glad Nikita Lyons is back, y'all. She's fly."
Lion Queen, man. She done a brick house, man. Brick house. You can huff.
She's a brag.
You can puff. But you can't blow that brick house down, man. Yeah, I love some Nikita Lyons.
Nikita's back, baby. She's back.
Yeah.
Here's our next one here. Where'd it go here? Oh, Loso Dolo. What's up, Loso?
Super chat.
Loso's also
What up?
Loso's also a channel member.
You don't mess with my little privates, man.
Salute to you. Who's your favorite for the men's breakout tournament? I think I might know the answer to this, but maybe you'll surprise me.
Well,
Or actually, I'm thinking the Iron Survivor. Who's in the men's breakout?
You talking about the Trick Williams, right? Of course, I'm gonna be pulling for Trick. Trick Williams is
So I'm sorry, I was talking about the Iron Survivor, but he's asking about the men's breakout tournament, and it announced Riley Osborne, Keanu Carver,
my bad.
Davion Heights, Dion Lennox, Luca Crucifino.
I haven't even checked that one out. I thought he was talking about that too. My bad.
Yeah, I was talking about the Iron Survivor, but definitely Trick. Trick says he wants to be in first in the Iron Survivor because he wants to make moments.
He's got something to prove. Kid's got star written all over him. He really does.
Yeah.
Before I ever saw Trick work, I was like, man, I like this guy. I like him. And now since he's gotten a little taste of the ring, it seems like he's one of those guys. He's like a hybrid. He's not like a real wrestler or anything like that. He's just a guy that go out and fight. I like that. Which can throw a few moves in there. I like that. Be able to throw a good punch and a good boot. I like that. And that's what Trick Williams pretty much brings to the table. So I see nothing but a bright future for this kid. And hopefully he'll go out there and pull it off Saturday night as well.
Yeah, Iron Survivor NXT Deadline, the premium live event, emanates from, where'd you say, Bridgeport, Connecticut?
Yes.
Bridgeport, I've never been to Connecticut. Is it a nice state? Do you like Connecticut?
There's a lot of money there, man. A lot of money in Connecticut. You know what I mean? A lot of rich, old money.
Old money.
Yeah, so yeah, it's good being in that part of the country.
A lot of good contacts can be made.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I've made a lot of money in Connecticut, especially over the last 3 years.
Well, shout out to Connecticut. Man. Shout out to the CT.
Yeah.
Let's see. Here's our next one here. This comes from Cali Toenail.
And if you find something wrong, that is right for you.
Who you with? Cali Toenail says, I see all the chat, and being the inaugural one, I suppose I get to help choose who's the next VIP to pass the torch to.
Hey,
if I'm ready to pass it, I challenge everyone to step up the super chat game.
Super chat. Come on with it, Cali. Look at the pull around to it. Reality of wrestling. Y'all better be ready. Y'all better get busy, man.
He's trying to go like them Houston Rockets, 94, 95, back to back.
Yeah, I like that.
I like it. Cali Toenail also says, any news on the Slammies? In your opinion, who's the top match, superstar of the year, funniest moment, and who's been the best? I vote Dom. He won me over. Dom's had a hell of a year, man.
You know what? I was going to say that same thing, man. Dominic Mysterio has had a hell of a year as far as being a heel, being a guy that the fans really despise, being a guy that the fans want to come to the arena and pay a ticket to despise at the same time. So he's done a hell of a job on the main roster as well as coming to NXT and spicing that game up a whole lot. What he's done for NXT has been, I don't see anybody else doing a better job than what Dom has done for spiking NXT right now.
Yeah, Dom's been great overall, and again, I love it when I don't see something like when Dom came in, he had a great match against Seth at SummerSlam, but I think I was always thinking, well, I don't know, man. He's so fresh faced, he's so new, he's Ray's son, and you're kind of like, what is this kid gonna do though? Really, I mean, other than put on some good matches, and then something about that mullet, man, grew out his evil side too. And Dom and all of Judgment Day. Because here's the thing, too, I want to say about Judgment Day is you had Finn Balor, who had a moment in the sun, but never really found his footing after that shoulder injury at SummerSlam, right? I mean, he won the title, and then he was always around, but never super important. I felt, at least personally speaking. And then you had Damian Priest, who Damian, I felt like another guy, failure to launch. Every time that he would have some sort of thing going on, I'd be like, I don't know. I just don't connect with it. And then Rhea just felt like a jewel that got lost a little bit in the shuffle. Maybe had too much too soon with that match with Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania 36. It was in front of nobody. The COVID era kind of left her by the wayside a bit, and she was tagging with Nikki.
As well as it was hard to push Rhea and Charlotte at the same time.
Yeah, but then change of the look, change of the vibe, and that Judgment Day all comes together. And now even getting to bring up people like JD McDonough. When I thought Edge left, I said, this is a dead faction. No one's going to care about this in 2 months. And I've never been more wrong. And I'm glad about it because I like that every one of those characters seems important on the show. And then you have Dom again, who's the cherry on top.
This is I might be going out there a little bit far, but I truly believe that you can put 5 guys in WWE as far as MVP of the year and Dom be one of those names. And I really believe at the end of that poll, Dominic would be the MVP of 2023. But I really believe that this kid changed the whole name of the game and showed what it really, really means to be a performer. Dominic is not, what he does out of the ring is awesome. But then I turn to what he does inside the ring. He is so freaking uncanny. I talk to my students and I tell them wrestling is no wrong way of doing this as long as you do it right. He has all of those elements to where it may not be traditional, but it's right every freaking single time. And that's what I love about watching Dominic, do his work in the ring. And like I say, what he's done outside the ring, it hadn't been a whole lot at all, but it's definitely made you feel something. You can't remember a Dominic promo.
No, but I remember the boos.
Exactly my point. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So that's what I mean by performer. He's definitely embrace that part of the game. So a lot of credit to that young kid.
And we have one more here right now. This is Joe Walker. Brad, I watched Joel Osteen's Keeping the Faith sermon. Thank you. Okay, yeah, good job, man. Booker, I appreciate your honesty. My condolences forever. Blessings to you both. Well, we appreciate you, Joe, man, for always being a loyal super chatter inside the hole, y'all.
No doubt. I appreciate that.
Man. But what's interesting? He brought that up, that keeping the faith thing, because we were talking about at the beginning of the show about reality wrestling and the growth that we've had. And my faith in the company never wavered once. I always knew, you actually said on the 2011 record, I always knew I'd land on my feet. I didn't know how. I just knew, And with reality wrestling, I never knew how it was going to get to the place it needed to be, but I just knew that it would. And what's exciting for me is people come to the show now. I was talking to somebody who's seen a lot of reality wrestling shows live today. And he would say, man, y'all have grown so much since the first shows in Clear Lake to where y'all are at now. It's crazy. And I say, yeah, it is crazy. But you know what's even more exciting is you see a finished, polished show now, but I see all the things that we can still improve on. Yeah. And that's what makes me excited. I'm like, well, I still see places we can tighten it up and make it better and make it bigger and make it fuller and make it more vibrant and make it liver, make it more energetic. I still see it all. And that's what really is getting me excited.
No, man, I feel the same way on reality wrestling for me in the beginning. When Sharmell first came up with the idea of getting our own building, I was like, baby, are you crazy? So don't you think I'm working hard enough already? But Doing it definitely have been a labor of love. Coming from where we came from, like you say, Clear Lake Rec Center. Actually, even before that, in the warehouse downtown. On Monroe to now to where we are, in Texas City, and then to move from one spot in Texas City to even having an awesome spot in Texas City, but moving even to a more awesome spot in Texas City has been unbelievable. More importantly, though, the Road Nation, our fans that have fueled us to this point, that believe in our young guys and our product. I want to thank you guys, man. I really do. We really couldn't have done it without you guys. So everybody that's a part of the road, you guys take ownership in reality of wrestling, because I know it sounds cliche. Without you guys, it wouldn't be no us. But that's 100% true, guys, and we appreciate you 100%. But I know we out of super chatters, right?
We're out of super chatters and we're out of time.
You got to get up out of here, man. I want to thank everybody for stepping inside the Hall of Fame, getting your champagne, wishes, caviar, dream. Want to say happy holidays to everybody out there. Make sure you're safe. Don't drink too much. Make sure you watch your six. That's military talk. Brad, always, man, appreciate you for the heavy lifting. But right now, like always, peace. We love you. We out.